Testing on. Welcome everybody. It is Thursday night, Leil Shishi as we call it. And every Thursday we try our best to learn a shtickle from the Heilige Levi ben Sarasashim in Berditchev. Schusi Geleinu Al Kol Yisrael Amein. Heilige Berditchev Erov in the Sefer Kedushas Levi. And it starts off with the beginning of the Parsha of Ikhu Terumah Meis Kol Ish Asher Yidvenu Libo Tikhu Es Trumasi Zos HaTruma Asher Tikhu Meitam Zav V'Chesef V'Nechoshas. This is Exodus 25 verses 2 and 3, and you shall take for me from each man whose heart is generous. You should take my offering, and this is the offering that you should take from them: gold and silver and copper. Remember Rabbi Fishbane's old Gesundheit, he said that means there's a very special pedigree called Asher Yidvenu Libo. I think I was listening to Rabbi David Kaplan from Yerushalayim, not from Passaic, different Rabbi David Kaplan. He's Magid Shirin or Sameach. He used to go to his Shirim, and he said, there's a Rav, he got up to speak in the shul, and he said, I have great news. We're going to be building a new wing to the shul, and we have the money for it. Just the money's still in your pockets. So anyway, let's learn. The Heilige Berditchev Erov Schusi Geleinu Al Kol said, "Hine kol adam mechuyev lavod es haBorei Baruch Hu." Every human being is obligated to worship the blessed Creator, b'maisa u'machshava, both in deed and in thought. Shal yidei hakavona v'machshava kadosha, that through the intentions and the holy thoughts, azay b'zeh meikim l'shchinta me'afra, that we lift up the divine presence from out of the dust. B'masa hu b'kadesh yisroi mem ha'adam lahetiv la'atzmo, and the purpose of good deeds is to benefit the human being, to lift him up, and to benefit himself. It's when we, I think maybe Shalom Aleichem, one of these Yiddish writers, he said that the Meshulachim, the beggars, in his stories, they were saying, we're doing a service to the community because you have to give charity. So this is our service to the community of taking the charity, right? Ubezem Yushev Hakasav Kol Ish Asher Yidvenu Libo. This is, meaning that your benefit from giving, the benefit that you receive is greater than for giving is greater the benefit than the receivers receive, right? I think there was a movie, we talked about it years ago on the podcast. It's called Heavens Above, and Peter Sellers plays an Anglican priest, and he accidentally, would seem, was appointed as a parish priest when he was a prison chaplain until then. And so the prison was very happy to get rid of him, and the truth was it was a different priest who was supposed to be appointed to this parish, but they had the same name but a different middle name. And the person who appoints, who's in charge of these things in the Anglican Church, is called the Archdeacon. That's the title. It's almost like jumbo shrimp, So the Archdeacon appoints where the priests go in the parish, and so he winds up in this little town that's run by basically this one family who owns, I think it was like a soap company or pharmaceutical company, something like that, and they're very wealthy, and he convinces the wealthy matriarch of this company and his family to start giving a lot of charity, and her heirs apparent are very upset that this priest is squandering her money, and they come and they explain, together with the archdeacon, who's telling them, it's a mistake. You don't even belong here. And then he said, you think it's a mistake, but God put me here, and I need to be here. Peter Sellers was saying, and he said that. So the family, they said, who were concerned that the money's getting squandered, said, we have a welfare state here in England. The poor are taken care of. And so he said, I'm not concerned about the poor people, I'm concerned about the rich people. Because in the Christian Bible it says it's more difficult for a rich man to enter into the kingdom of heaven than for a camel to pass through the eye of the needle. It seems that this term, the eye of the needle, means a particular passage between two rocks. I think it's like somewhere near Yerushalayim, near Jerusalem. And so it's not impossible. We're not talking about an actual eye of a needle, but a certain place in Jerusalem. And so then the archdeacon says, well, we interpret that differently, So that's the point, that lahavdil of alfei avdolos, what Kedushas Levi is bringing here, is that to give tzedakah, when you give charity, you give alms, it's to your own benefit. You're not helping God. I mean, you're helping God because He's offering that honor to you. Because God can do it Himself. God created all this. He didn't even have to create. All of this was because God is good and He wanted to do good. He's a toiva meitiv. And there's something in the essence of God. And I saw Rabbi Bar Tzadok, he explained that the way to get closest to God, he said in this week's Parshas, is by giving. So anyway, through this we explain what the scripture says, every man whose heart is giving. The Terumah is ala machshava. This is a hint to thought, because like the heart means the thought, the mind. Al yedei zeh tikchus trumasi. This is how you get my offering, but also my elevation. Right? So not only you lifting yourself up, you're lifting up God's presence in the world. Because when you see a religious person is being generous, it's the Kiddush Hashem. It's making God look good, right? In this world that's filled with darkness. And this is the offering you should take from them. Tzaloimer means to say, this is the elevation, the uplifting that a person takes for himself. This comes through the deed. This is, we're talking about gold and silver and copper. Tzaloimer al yedei uvda means through the action. And we were actually talking about this at work today, because I saw, it was a video I saw that I played yesterday at work, because I have a TV station I run at work. We show different videos for different religions. Wednesday we show Jewish videos, and I showed a whole tish from Rabbi Weinberger's shul. It was an event. It wasn't a tish. It was like an event for Rabbi Nosson Nemerov, for Rabbi Nachman. So it was a Sarah B'Tevis a few months ago. I think Rabbi Chaim Kramer was there. It was a big thing. And anyway, Norton, what was I saying? But before that, I try to fill up the DVD as much as I can. So I had, for whatever reason, I played a video, and I didn't even watch it first. I played it, you're supposed to watch these things first. It was Ben Shapiro. He's sitting with, I know Jordan Peterson, a few other people, and he's talking about why Moshe Rabbeinu in Parshas Shmos, why Moses was was punished for not circumcising his son. And I was explaining the difference between Christianity and Judaism. Christianity, everything's ideas, symbolism. Judaism, it's deed. There's the ideas and the symbolism also. But so what Ben Shapiro explained was, it's not just enough to have a covenant in your mind, in your heart. The covenant has to be in your flesh. You have to get bloody. You have to actually circumcise. That's what Judaism brings. And I understand traditional forms of Christianity also have concept of deeds and works and things. It's not like sola fide like the Protestants say in the Catholic and the Orthodox Church. They have things to do. The Muslims, they have things to do, and that's this world we live in. In a certain sense, the Protestant idea of faith being the most important thing and not requiring works, although of course, and again, it depends on what type of Protestants. If high church Protestants, Episcopalians, even Lutherans, they have stuff to do, but the question is, where does the salvation come from? For us, that the whole idea of salvation, it's not on our plate of, it's not on our radar. That's more of a Christian invention. But anyway, it's like Rabbi Tovia Singer's on this inside. He said that God invented Mormons so Christians know how Jews feel, right? Because what do you mean? There's no such thing as salvation in Judaism. Right? The salvation is of the Lord. On thy people is thy blessing forever. It's in the Psalms. That's a Jewish book, right? But salvation means something. To us, it just means being saved from, danger or something like that. Like Baruch Hashem. I'm driving, and it just snowed a little bit. The roads are a little scary, but God is saving me from, bad stuff. It's not talking about anything really in the afterlife and things like that, like the Christians think. It's the same thing. The Mormons, they use the same language the Jews use, the Christians use, but it means something else than it means for Jews and Christians. And when Jews and Christians use words that Jews use, it means something else. But anyway, the point is this is what Yiddishkeit is about, though. Is you have to do something. You have to be involved. You have to, and through this action, that's how there's this Remus. That's how we get to the spirituality. It's not enough just to have good ideas and good intentions. You have to have good deeds. And you have to stay away from the bad deeds. You can't go and murder people and then say, oh, you believe, you have the right theology, which is really the wrong theology. That's neither here nor there. But what the Christians think is the right theology, which to us is a wrong theology, but they're thinking, just because you have this theology, you believe that this person was God and that he died and this and that then you could do whatever you want. You murder, you steal, you commit adultery, and God forgives you because you have this theology, because you believe. Isn't that ridiculous? That's primitive and it's weird. But not only that, it's just nonsensical. And I don't mean to be disrespectful to my lovely Christian brothers and sisters and friends and neighbors. But it just, so then of course Catholics are going to say, no, it doesn't mean that. And the Orthodox are going to say it doesn't mean that. But if you ask a real evangelical Protestant, he's going to say at a certain point, it doesn't mean you can continue to do that. You have to stop, but whatever you did in the past, it's good. That's going to be the answer. But then, then there's the question, once saved, always saved, and all that in their theology, and there's always a question. And different machlekes, it's a disagreement among the Christians. We don't have this on our plate. We care about, what are you doing? Are you keeping Shabbos? You're not keeping Shabbos. Are you? Of course, you have to believe. We have a theology also. You have to believe there's one God. You have to believe, and so the Christians with the Trinity stuff, they say it's also one. That also doesn't make sense. Oh, it's a mystery. You just have to have faith. Goes into hate. Our thing, it makes sense. You learn the Rambam, you learn Maimonides. It's logic. You learn the Kuzari. It's logic. There's not really many big leaps of faith. All right, you really believe that a donkey talked, or that Jonah lived in the fish, and this and that. That doesn't even really matter. That really doesn't matter. You're not going to go to hell if you believe that Jonah is a parable instead of a historical. That's not on our table. A Jew who believes that there's many gods and worships other gods and things like that, that's a problem. That there's some that the Creator is in a category that can be compared to anything else. Someone who denies the uniqueness of the Creator, that's a problem. And that's the problem of Christianity, because a lot of the Christian ideas, they do come from Jewish sources, but they're so utterly different, because even the idea of the Shekhinah, of the divine presence in Judaism, is essentially a created thing. It's not co-eternal. It's something that is present. And so again, if they want to talk about the logos, which is the memra, this and but the co-eternality, but in a certain sense, the Protestant idea is actually quite Gnostic, which a lot of people say that the Gospel of John is the Gnostic gospel. That's neither here nor there. I'm not really here to preach Christianity or to disprove Christianity, anything. I'm here to teach Judaism, I'm here to teach Torah, and I'm sorry I got off on a tangent about Christianity. I don't know why, but the point is that this is what makes Judaism different than Christianity. Christianity is all about what you believe, and Judaism is about this world, and that there's one God. This was one of the things, because one of the guys in the jail, he was asking me, he's a Christian, and he was going back and forth and this and that, trying to understand what he believes. And I said, I'm not here to convert you. You're welcome to come learn with us, and I'm not here to convert you, but you want to understand why we don't believe what we don't believe. And then one of the things I mentioned is, what is Mashiach? What is in Isaiah, who is called Mashiach? And one of the guys knew was King Cyrus, who was a Zoroastrian, and he's still called Mashiach. He was a Zoroastrian dualist, and Isaiah God is through Isaiah is calling Cyrus by name, Koresh by name, and criticizing his religion. Because if you see what Isaiah says there in Isaiah 45, what God is saying through Isaiah, he's saying God created good and evil, which is the opposite of what the Zoroastrians believe. The Zoroastrians believe, they still believe, there's still Zoroastrians in India and in America and other places. They, for the most part, got kicked out of their native Persia. Oh, there's still a few left. The Zoroastrians, right? They believe they only worship one God, but there's also a bad God, and they're fighting. And that's kind of where, like, the Christian idea of God and Satan fighting. We don't believe God and Satan are fighting. We believe Satan is a loyal angel who worships God and follows God and is our enemy. Is there to make our life more difficult. And the point of that is, so then we get more reward because we overcame the difficulty. But he's really there. He's really rooting for us. He doesn't want to win. The Zohar Kodesh says, brought in the Tanya, that it's like a king who hires a woman to try to seduce his son, just so the son can prove himself worthy of being the heir to the throne by not getting seduced. And all that time she has to do her job, but she's rooting that she should lose. And that's who the Satan is. So, wow, this red light is on again. All right, well, I got to look at what's going on here. Thank you for watching. God bless. Please like, share, and subscribe, comment. We'll see you later. I don't know why I got on this tangent, but the point is, you got to do something in Judaism. It's not enough just to believe. All right, we'll see you guys later. Love you. How do I turn this thing off? This one.